All right, we'll try it.
Cool. So we're recording. So whenever you're ready.
All right.
Todd's a visionary.
That guy literally came from nowhere. Out of nowhere.
I guess we can jump into the questions now. You mentioned that your philosophy is break the rules and make it look cool. I'm just curious how you kind of came up with that as your philosophy and when you arrived at that conclusion.
I don't know. My mom will probably tell you that it happened when I came right out of the womb. I think our personalities are a little bit baked into our DNA. You're either a pacifist or a warrior at heart fairly early. I got into plenty of trouble when I was a young kid. As you grow up, they give you different names for that, right? It's either you're troublemaker, you don't listen, you're uncoachable. And at times, if they want to do a positive bent on it, then you're the guy who marches to their own drum beat and you don't take no for an answer. So it's interesting that the same trait applied to different circumstances can net you a different result from what people think about you, depending on when you decide you're going to actually put that personality up large. I don't think I'm dramatically different than anybody else. I just don't like people telling me what to do in life. I just decided at a certain age that I was going to start to put my money where my mouth was so that I didn't have to ask anybody's permission. And I'm not saying that what I'm doing is right or wrong. That's the piece that sometimes I think people misunderstand. I'm just saying that I just want to do it the way that I see. And if I fail on my own merits and I have nobody to blame but myself.
You talk about in the film, you got 300 rejection letters before you actually got your first job. In hindsight, did that actually help you in so much as it gave you time to develop your style and gave you more of a perseverant attitude?
Again, it depends on your situation. I was going to college, so I knew I had 4 years of no's, and it was only going to become a pressure as I got close to the end of trying to get a yes. I probably didn't take the no's nearly as hard as somebody who had put their eggs in the basket of hoping that the yes came really fast. And it didn't drive me because I was just going to keep doing it anyways, right? I'm going, what? I can put pencil to paper. Nobody could stop me from doing it. If they don't want to let me draw for their company, my dad, who was in the printing business, we'll just print our own comic books. There's nothing stopping me from doing what I wanted to do. Although I thought it'd be cool if I could draw Batman or Spider-Man or some, one day, those characters we grew up with. It was just part of the competitive nature that's always been in me, right? That each no was just, oh yeah. But when you're young, you're a little more delusional and a little more stubborn. And luckily, I didn't get down about it. It just kept me going longer and longer for years. And then the magical one. You only need one person to say yes, right? People, I think, put themselves in a position where they think everybody has to like them. No. The right person in the right spot. You want to be an NFL football player, there's 32 teams. You need one to draft you, and you're a player. You're a player. And who gives a damn about the other 31 teams?
So I wanted to ask a little bit about your Marvel years. And one of the great quotes I thought in the film was you mentioned when you were drawing Spider-Man, the way that they'd done it before was to put the emphasis on man. And when you got there, you had to put the emphasis on the spider part. Beyond the webbing, which was just incredible the way you drew that, how did you attempt to kind of convey that style a little bit more in your art?
I think the first thing that should be a little bit obvious if you look at it was I contorted his body pretty severely. When I was drawn, because to me, bugs are creepy crawly, right? They do that. I don't want him to be Superman. I want Spider-Man should be this sort of little gnarly guy. And this should come as no surprise to any really good artist. I ignored anatomy and I just was going for cool. And I just went, man, wouldn't it be awesome if he could bend and his leg could go up here and he could do this and he could twist his hand. And anatomically, it was impossible. When Sam Raimi tried it with his first movie, he came across that very quickly, that it's like, you can't do McFarlane because he's not following any of the laws of physics and science. what I was trying to sell, which I think works very well in comic books, is cool. Just like, oh, look at Spider-Man. He looks cool. And then once I got that he's just being like what I thought bug-like positions, then it bugged me that his webs were just this one piece that, was like a strand, and then he'd swing what I always say, like Tarzan, from vine to vine. And I just wanted him to act a little more spider-like, which is crawl up his own webs so that he'd have a bunch left over. That was good for me because then I could put it all around him because he didn't have a cape. So it made him feel, to me, bigger on the screen, on the piece of paper, because it just seemed like there was more going on than just a little guy crunched over. Because as soon as you crunch him over, you get small. And I needed the webs to add to the big. And then I just gave him the big bug eyes, and I made him a little bit darker, and I added more webs to his costume. And it was just a little bit of everything that ended up being, at the end, the totality of it was my look that a lot of the people responded to. And then the sales started going up. And like I said, when they first hired me to jump on Spider-Man, they were saying, hey, it's not even the top 20. Can you guys help? Do whatever you got to do. And so I took that literally. I took that at heart. And I went, shoot, I'm off to the races.
Never give up. Never take no for an answer.
They're going to always try and say, it's not possible, don't do it. Don't listen to them.
Todd had no fear. Ever.
I'm just getting warmed up.